even.
Greetings and salutations, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to our new Sunday night game of Vampire the Masquerade. Our game is entitled The Kindred of Savannah. And before we get too far into tonight's episode and give you a little bit of a recap, I'd like to, as per usual, give the Roll20 a nice little shout out. That's what we're using to show our maps and any kind of encounters we have. That way our players as well as our viewers can get a little immersed into our game. And speaking of our characters, our miniatures are created through Hero Forge subscription. If you are a subscriber to Hero Forge, you can create your own custom mini and use it in your digital games. And that does include Vampire. Well, anything on Foundry or Roll20, I believe, and Fantasy Grounds. We also have GUI Cube, which is a 5th edition world that was created by a company and expanded upon by the community itself. If you haven't had a chance to go to GUICube.com, go check them out. Now, before we do a recap, well, we'll do a recap now. Do we want to have our players do it, or would you like for me to do it?
Oh, why don't you go do it?
Fine by me.
So, previously on the Kindred of Savannah, our two new bloods awakened in a tomb, or crypt, if you will. Kind of confused, a little... well, a lot of hungry, and I guess with a new friend. Didn't quite catch exactly how they felt about this friend, and I'm sure their feelings will become more pronounced as the days come, or the nights come by. Well, our new friend who got them safely out of the club before the authorities showed up had to try his damnedest to keep them in the crypt so they didn't go outside and eat the drunk teenagers who were having a party in the cemetery. And it was a bit of all hands on deck for that. He had his hands full. It's probably the hardest $300 he actually earned, even though he thought it was going to be the easiest $300 he'd ever earned.
Yeah.
So once he got past that, and the fact that a couple teenagers decided to knock or try to get into his crypt to have some personal alone time, our players, our two noobs, found out that I have to turn that thing off. Sorry. Our two new vampires, if you will, learned how to access some of their abilities. Strength, speed, and I believe command of some sort. So, yes, they have new things they need to learn. Well, after the teenagers finally left, and our players could safely, without fear of our new vampires from attacking living creatures and killing them to feed themselves, made their way out to the van, and this time Dom got to drive his own vehicle. So no crashing or bumping into other things. As Devon whines a little. They made their way to a school that had a blood drive van parked in front for Judd to go in and steal some more blood packs. Or I believe they've coined the phrase Capri Suns.
Yep.
Okay, so to get some more Capri Suns, and Devon was kind of thinking maybe this guy's a little nuts, not really understanding what's going on in his new found life. And they discussed on leaving Judd behind and going to... where was it you were planning on going? Back to the club or home? Back to the club you guys had been drug away from.
I think we were just trying to get the hell out of there.
51
get away
degrees.
from this. Yeah.
We were going to go to the club anyway, yeah. Because we were supposed to be at work.
So, as they're discussing that, the door opens up in the van, closes up again, and then, of course, that's when they realize Judd kind of moves around invisibly if he wishes to. They made their way to 51, got accosted a little bit, you know, for the fact that they were supposed to be working certain shifts and none of them showed up on time. And hell, even Dom was even dressed for the part of sitting at the front door. They went in and saw their manager, who who was very nice to them and talked real sweet to them and told them to go up and see the boss because somebody came down and told them they needed to go see the boss. After a little bit of a conversation with the boss, who is known as Christoph at this point in time, and of course he had a couple bouncers, or I can't say bouncers, but more like bodyguards that were at the door. A little conversation, he checked his phone, talked to somebody who wasn't there, received some sort of information out of thin air that you couldn't hear or weren't trying to hear. And that's when the authorities showed up, as Dom likes to put, the Alphabet Gang decided to show up at the door and come inside, and I believe that's where we left off, with you being told to use a certain door for an exit.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Alright, so that's where we'll pick up tonight's episode of The Kindred of Savannah.
Already.
Okay. Go to the doors.
Yep.
I'm looking back, trying to figure out what's going on.
No music. You're going with us.
When you look back, Christoph is standing in front of the big glass, looking down on the club with his hands behind his back, and in his left hand is his very decorative-looking cane.
Okay.
You want us to come back tonight?
I'll send someone to find you.
All right.
Should we go back to my house then?
No.
No.
Why no?
Your house has been compromised. All right. I need to get into character. Your house has been compromised.
It was a slight bug infestation. I had it taken care of.
No. It means the authorities know that was your house. You left your wallet in the club.
I didn't mean to leave my shit in the club.
And you know
I didn't mean
they're probably going to accuse you of like kidnapping and killing those waitresses. You know, they have to cover things up. So
It looks really bad when a body's not at the scene, but everything points that they were there.
Yeah.
Your ID, your motorcycle, everything says you were there, but there's no body. Looks really bad.
So how do you
you'll be
do
a
that
really
visible
nice
thing?
Huh?
So how do you do that visible thing?
No. You probably can't do it. It's not part of your bloodline. I mean, you know, it can be taught, but you know.
I'm assuming you guys are heading down the back stairs at this point in time.
Heading to
Yes.
the door, however we
Not
get
like
out.
standing at the door having this conversation.
Just us, just like, fuck, get out.
I'm following behind them, trying to figure out how this is going. I'm back there trying to.
Just get in the van. Just come on, get in the van. It looks like you're trying to have a turd in your pants. So come on, you know, let's just get into the van.
Do you want to make sure that there's no one watching the van before we get in and head out?
And let me do a rouse check.
And I'm gonna stop and let him go, make sure the area is clear before we get in a vehicle and leave.
Yep, sorry, I'm in the wrong little thing here.
Sorry, I was not at the right point in the dice roll. Okay, I get some hunger.
I can see who's going to be gaining the most hunger through this. Hey, Judd, why don't you go invisible when we check this out? Hey, Judd, why don't you go invisible and check that out?
Yeah. And I'm also Silence of Death is no, it does not require a rouse check. So I'm just going out and checking, and just for reference, I also have Ghost in the Machine, so I always show up blurry. If at anything, I show up blurry.
Mm-hmm.
So
I figured as much, which might have some bearing in the story.
Yeah. So I'll go and check to see if there's anyone looking at that van. or
Okay.
watching it.
As you come around the side of the building, you do see a patrolman with a flip pad in his hand, writing down the license plate number of the white van. Or actually, he's not writing anything. He looks like he's looking at the pad and looking at the van, like he's comparing the numbers.
Gotcha. So I will then go back and say, well, there's a cop looking at a pad and looking at your license plate. Probably has some type of video of your van being at the lawn club.
Maybe we can convince him that he never saw it there and he didn't see us. Who's good at talking to people?
Just tell him that
leaving a trail is a bad thing. No. Leaving a trail is a very bad thing.
Well, that would probably be your friend here. He seems to be the one that likes to talk.
And I'm going to have to get rid of it.
Okay.
Yeah. So what's... Devin, why don't you go talk to these... Why don't you go talk to the cop and just tell him, this isn't the van you're looking for.
Okay.
I don't know if you can do that or not.
I'll go over, kind of looking around, stroll up to the cop. Hey, this is not the van you're looking for.
Are you going to dominate him?
No. Yeah, I guess I will. So manipulation and presence. So manipulation.
And it was their int and something else.
Yeah. Composure and intelligence. Manipulation. No second attribute. So 3. Would you consider this a social skill?
Yeah.
Okay. So I noticed I have the beautiful, and I hadn't been using that extra die roll I had. So.
All right.
Difficulty.
Give me just
2,
a second.
3.
I will give you a difficulty.
If you're trying to dominate him, you roll and then he rolls against the dominate.
That's right.
So difficulty 6 for Dan.
Oh yeah,
I believe
that probably ain't gonna happen. All right, I think that went through. I don't have a actual. You know what? Let's do it this way. And what did you say the roll was supposed to be?
Composure and intelligence.
Okay, I'll just roll an intelligence. Difficulty 6. There we go. Now, what exactly did you say to the officer?
I went up to him and said, "This is not the van you're looking for," because that's what you told me to tell him.
Yep.
Yeah, this is not the van I was looking for. And he starts walking away.
Holy shit, I'm a Jedi? Guys!
Yes, that's exactly what you are. So, your lightsaber comes next. Get in.
Get in the van.
And we'll head out. Where do we want to go?
Well, you need to dump this van and get something new.
Yeah, I have some charts back home with good places to dump stuff. Water levels,
Yeah, well, this is the thing. If they have your license plate, if your license plate went to your home address and not a drop box.
Oh, no, I don't got this. I have a river that I live on so I can move around.
Oh, okay. But do you have a post office box or something?
Yeah, it's the one in wherever, main post office, big post office.
Okay. So there's nothing linking your van directly to your boat.
No.
Okay. Then your boat should be safe.
Yeah, no. Somebody helped me out a while ago, and I'm effectively a non-person, if that makes sense.
Oh, completely to me, because I've not been a person for a long time.
But yeah,
So I'm not gonna have anybody roll a wits awareness to notice that Devin is doing something weird with his hands.
I'm trying to make the toolbox move.
It keeps him occupied.
All right. Hey, if it works, that's fine.
I might get some fishing line and,
Or find that one clan that actually does that.
Oh. He doesn't know.
Who's driving?
I am.
All right.
But yeah, I was asking, where do we want to go? Where are we looking?
Well, you need a new van. So where do you think you're going to get one of those?
I'll have to get one later at some point.
Okay. Because there are swamps everywhere. If you need to dump something, there is marshland everywhere.
Yes, I was looking to make sure some of these rivers were deep enough to hide a van. And not just go in and stick out.
Yeah. There are a lot of places.
So yeah. Do we have anything else we need to do tonight specifically?
Not that I know of.
Okay.
I have a feeling Christoph will get in touch with us. I mean, we're going to have to help Marcus find a new place.
Who's that?
Not Marcus. Sorry, I'm looking up here and not down here. Devin, we're going to have to make sure DJ Smooth, finds a new path. Probably a new name, too.
New name? Oh, shit.
Yeah, something a little bit better than DJ Smooth.
Actually, I just had an idea. Could I make a underground, illegal, streetwise roll to find a chop shop?
Yeah.
I can sell my van
Go
to
for
the
it.
chop shop. All right. What would you want?
Well, you've dealt with this before. So let's see. Yeah, streetwise intelligence, I guess.
Okay, streetwise intelligence +1.
And I'm gonna say it's not real hard, but it's not real easy. So we'll go with a 3 on that difficulty.
3. Okay. Well, let's see. 2 of 3.
What are you trying to do?
You know there's at least one here in town somewhere.
Yeah, I was trying to find a chop shop I've worked with, and I can't recall it off the top of my head.
Okay.
I figured I could get rid of it there.
Okay. I wanted to check one thing out. But I will also roll streetwise to see if I can help you.
Hold on. Do you just want to help, or?
I mean, I can see if I can help him remember. Like giving him some suggestions of people that might stand out to him.
Well, you also have your will. Willpower.
Yeah. Quick reminder: how do you regain willpower in Vampire?
That is a very good question.
It has to deal with your.
I'll go ahead and roll.
Your touchstones and convictions.
Yeah, that's what I thought. So that would be 4 successes actually.
Okay, so yeah,
roll 3.
2 chop shops. There's one you won't go to because all the guys are really weird in it. The long dreads and kind of feral in appearance sometimes. You think they're probably all cracked out on something.
Gotcha.
And the other one is one of the local gangs up on the north side. That boost cars, chop them up, and they get them out on some of the containers. They do a lot more of the overseas. They ship them out. They don't keep them here.
Gotcha.
And I will try to figure out how you can regain your. Now
Yeah.
healing, of course, you can regain some. You can
roll hunger. I think it's a rouse check, basically.
rouse check to do the milds.
Yeah.
But it takes like some time to do the heavier. It also
Aggravated.
depends upon your humanity.
Yeah.
So if you've got humanity, is it humanity?
Humanity. I don't know.
I'll let you know later. We're not going to hold up what you're doing right now.
But yeah, hey, I know where I can get rid of this thing, and they might give us something, but for what this is, they're not going to really give anything, but it'll get it gone.
Well, I mean, see if there's something else you can get for the time being. See if there's something that they would give you, just a cheap car that they might have already gotten, but, it's just not worth anything to them.
I mean, we can all go there, and maybe someone can help me with the talking. I don't do a whole lot of the talking.
Well, apparently I'm a Jedi, so I can get people to do whatever.
Exactly.
I wouldn't push these people too hard.
No, I wouldn't either.
Okay. Now, you said I needed a new name. How does Barnabas Collins sound?
Who?
Barnabas Collins, the guy from Dark Shadows.
Who?
Okay, wait. You're taking a name from? Is that a book?
No, it's that vampire movie with Johnny Depp.
Okay, you're going to take a name from a movie that's known for doing what? What's the movie about?
Oh, Johnny's character goes back to his ancestor estate.
Okay.
It's a good movie. You should really watch it.
Okay, but what I'm trying to ask is, is somebody else going to know this name, Barnabas Collins? What was he known for?
A character in a movie?
Okay, but is somebody going to look at that name and go, "Oh yeah, really, ha," or "Oh God," or are they going to make a connection? Barnabas Collins is not a very common name.
Okay.
Something like Claude Smith or Bobby Thomas. All of those are very common names. Nobody's gonna kind of go, "Oh wow, that person has a freaky name."
Okay.
If you showed up as like LaQuinta something, it's going to LaQuinta Hilton. They'll raise some eyebrows.
Okay. How about Jonas Scorzini?
Joseph Skorzinski.
Jonas Scorzini. I could be.
Okay.
I could be from Warsaw, Poland. No?
Well, I don't know a lot of people from Poland. Dom, does he kind of look Polish?
No. Okay, I'll work on names.
Well, so Devin, for Devin, does he just look like a wasp?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can you do like an Irish accent?
Can Devin do an Irish accent?
No.
A very shitty one is what I can pull off.
No. It's probably not a good idea to do accents then.
So at the beginning of a session, Kurt,
Yep.
you can remove any amount of superficial damage to your composure, up to their composure or resolve for willpower.
Okay, so damage-wise.
Uh,
That would probably come into effect for you, Devin.
Oh yeah, I was.
Yeah, since I wrenched your hand against the rope and snapped it in twain.
Okay, so I give up a willpower for health.
And
How
it's
it was?
resolve or composure max amount.
Yeah, whichever one's the highest. It's how
Oh,
much you
okay.
can
Get
heal
rid of.
superficial willpower.
Oh, okay.
Now, willpower, of course, is 3 dice. You can also take control of your character. To take control of your character for 1 turn during frenzy. To perform minute movements while impaled. To ignore health damage penalties, including impairment, like he said for the hand deal.
Okay.
But you guys have the book, page 158, tells you how to spend and recover the willpower.
All right, 158
Okay.
willpower. But yeah, I'm just getting us to the chop shop.
All right.
Okay.
So
I will work on coming up with names.
moving things with your mind still.
Well, I was trying to get a headache, so I'll stop that.
All right. So let's try.
Maybe I'm not that
Since
powerful.
you're doing the
Jedi yet.
driving, and I know this is not typical for Masquerade dice rolls, give me a percentage roll.
Who, me?
Yes, please.
37.
All right. So give me a drive/dexterity. We'll call it a drive casual.
Oh, there we go.
Looks like you've done pretty good at drive. Geez, they're all success.
Yep, max successes.
Yeah, you do notice several times you go past a couple of the Savannah's finest,
Mm-hmm.
and you're certain at one point in time there was a unmarked SUV that may have come towards you, and you turned off just in time that they didn't catch a glimpse of what your plate was in your van.
Gotcha. Perfect.
You make it
While
to.
we-
Go ahead.
While we are out on route, I am pulling out one of these 6 blood bags I have left and downing it.
Take care of that hunger you got earlier.
Yes, because for me, I have iron gullet, so I can actually get rid of that last hunger without having to feed on a human.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
All right, so you make a few turns here, a few turns there. You go past the college, and I'll have to, since that's the first time I've thought about brought up Chop Shop, I'll have to bring up a location for you in a minute. But you do come across one, and you got some souped up lowriders out front. A couple. Let's see, like Hondas and just basic street racer look.
Gotcha.
There's like several of them out there. So you're certain that the chop shop that you come to is ran by a local street racing gang. They got a couple fellas out front, drinking, chit chatting with a couple ladies. They're all they haven't gone out to find them a place to race yet this evening. So it's almost like a couple of them are just getting ready and discussing where will be the best place to go.
Okay.
You over here talk about, we did that one trip down Atlanta last week. That was hilarious when the homeowners come out trying to stop us. All right, so what are you doing?
Well, I'd approach like I normally do with vehicle I need gone or have to give or sell or whatnot.
Hey, Dom.
Hey, how's it going? I brought something in. It needs gone.
Really? You brought in a cargo van, especially one that's dented up? I mean, we can't resell that.
It can be scrap parts.
So you just want to get rid of it. That's what you're after?
It just needs gone.
I mean, get the blades on it and start cutting that sucker up, but there's no money in it.
It's better to be gone than to be looking out for. And by the way, on my way here, I passed a few people that you might not want to run into, and I point out where I saw all the cops on my way up here and the general locations they were patrolling on the way.
Yeah, the police scanners are all lit up. They're looking for, supposedly looking for somebody. I don't know. Something happened. They have actually specified names. I hear they're going over to 51. Don't you work over there?
Yeah. Not working tonight.
Yeah, they were kind of vague as to why they were looking for a couple people. I just knew that they were going to 51. Something happened at, I think they said Club Elan was mentioned. But yeah, nothing more than that. And they're all over the streets looking for, oh, well. I understand now why you want us to cut this thing up.
Yeah, there was some crazy stuff that happened the other night, and I just don't want my hands attached to anything, and sadly, wrong place, wrong time. And this thing, it's not, like you said, it's worth nothing.
I mean, yeah, we can chop it up for you and get rid of it.
So I will toss him the keys, go over, and grab my toolbox out of the back, or my duffel bag and toolbox for the clothes and everything. Well, y'all ready to go?
Oh, now. Don't we need a ride?
That's where you come in, is you can try and talk your way into getting us a ride. I think maybe calling an Uber later on after a little walk-in, or something else along them lines.
No, I mean, if you're going to use, well, once we get out, you don't want to use your phones anymore. And you don't want to use anything that was tagged to you electronically. So, like, if you had a account with Uber or an account with anything, just go on and consider it busted. Because the second if they have your license plate, they have your name. If they have your name, that means they probably have at least your credit cards and probably some access to other things, so that their hackers can probably figure out the second you pull up an Uber that, oh, look, this is the person we're looking for.
I'll take that into account. I feel pretty safe. But yeah, I'll get some new stuff.
Yeah. You need to get new stuff. Right now, probably your best idea, go get a burner.
Okay. I'll look around. Do I see any nice vehicles that don't seem like they're being utilized?
Give me
getting ready.
Give me that roll.
Is there a 1970s, 1980s car? Maybe have one hubcap.
No extra dice. Difficulty 2.
Well, I mean, depends what you're looking for. You're just looking for a car?
Yeah.
Then yeah, difficulty 2.
Messy critical.
You can't get messy critical right. So you're looking around to try to find a vehicle.
Mm-hmm.
But for some odd reason, your eyes keep straying back towards the group that are sitting on the car discussing where to go race tonight. And when I mean back to the group, your eyes wander to a certain location on certain people's anatomy. You're looking at the ladies' backsides. They're wearing little cut-off jean shorts, and they got the bikini tops on because it is rather warm here in Savannah. But you're not looking for a car. You just keep looking at them.
Mind riding that.
All right. So since you're actually doing things like that, let's find out. Mental.
But yeah, I'll have my stuff slung over my shoulder and whatnot.
Like I said, I'll probably be the first one staked. Start hitting on the prince's wife.
Okay,
do we notice that he's wandering off again.
You do notice, but the problem is the guy who's got his arm kind of around one of the girls notices him looking at the backsides. Yo, hey, what the hell, man?
What? I'm just looking at your ride. It's very nice.
Yeah, my ride. I don't call her my ride. She's my girl, not my ride. What are you doing, man?
I was just saying there was another vehicle around here that maybe we could
Well,
borrow.
her ass
for the
ain't no
night.
vehicle.
Probably one hell of a ride, though. Yeah, I'm gonna
All
get
right.
my ass kicked.
Hold on. Let me check out my composure for this one. All right, we'll go with all right, so I'll roll this.
I don't know if I should step in or if I should just watch what happens.
Well, you see Judd just kind of holding his
All right.
arms and
He
kind of looking.
he keeps his composure somewhat. He just kind of puts his hand on his buddy's shoulders. It's all right, man. Look, find somewhere else to be. Or else.
Well, as soon as I can get a ride out of here, we'll be gone.
We'll call a fucking Uber, man. Just there ain't no sense in standing here staring at these girls like this.
Now Judd will come up and grab Devon's by the neck. Or sorry, not by the neck, by the back of his collar. Come on. We don't have time for this.
Yeah,
Shit.
yeah.
That was blatant, just sitting there staring at their butts like that.
All right. And then I lean
And there's a
over
conversation
to-
going on between the group now.
And I lean over to Don and say, remember what I said about his bloodline? You just knock him upside the head, and then you can keep moving. You know, they start getting focused on something, knock him upside the head, keep moving.
I guess. I just feel, a little hesitant about knocking things upside the head anymore. Might accidentally crush something.
Well, yeah. They have sturdy heads.
He is
Okay,
rather thick-skulled.
Look, we're in kind of bad neighborhood anyway, and there are a lot of old cars here that we can easily.
You think you
flip.
can get in one?
I probably get one started for you. Yeah.
I mean, let's go then.
So I'm looking for an old junker.
All right, why don't you go ahead and give me that
Awareness, or can I use
investigation.
Streetwise?
Yeah, you can use streetwise.
Or-
Yeah, I was
Okay.
gonna say,
You
could
tell
I?
me which one to use to try to find a vehicle that you guys could possibly.
Okay. I
Abscond
can also
with.
use that. I can also just use my my influence street community, but I'll do Streetwise.
Is there anything I
I
could do
don't
to
think-
assist you in this? I'm proficient with streetwise
you
and
can help.
larceny.
You can help.
What would that entail, helping, or would I just be rolling as well? Or would I roll and then he can add how many successes to dice to his roll?
I'm checking on that now.
And would you consider this urban survival?
Sure.
Okay.
So why don't you just, Dom? Why don't you go ahead and give me a
Streetwise wits?
yes.
All right. And then he can add that many to his roll? Is that kind of what we're thinking?
I don't think that's the way it works. I think it's just a matter of whether or not you actually help him and give him an advantage.
Gotcha.
Alright, so I will apologize. This is one of those moments where I don't quite know exactly how that works. It just says teamwork applies to most extended tests, but it might allow you to ignore or try to fix a total failure rather than blow the whole test.
Gotcha. Yeah, when there's like 20, 30 some skills, it's a little difficult to recall what every single thing is.
Yeah. So go ahead and Let me see what I can find out on advantage. Go ahead and give me your roll too, Judd.
Am I adding an extra dice from Dom?
That's what I was trying to check. So, you know what? Go ahead and add an extra dice.
Okay.
Um,
And then we can figure it out.
Yep. If I have to change it later, I'll change it later.
Okay. Difficulty?
You're just looking for a beater.
Yeah.
We'll just say a 2 for that. But if you get any higher than that, depends on what you actually find.
3.
All right. You do see a beater, but you see a couple other little more up-to-date cars. Not any of the souped-up ones you're seeing here, because all of them seem to be occupied or being watched. But just down the street, like half a block down, you see 2 or 3 sedans. You don't see any vans. You do see one van, but it's the beater. It's a rather old, run-down Astro van.
Okay.
But you do see a couple, like I said, a couple sedans down that way.
Okay. Sedan or van?
Oh, whichever is, gonna get us last longer, probably.
Okay.
Then I am looks the sedan. You're sure that Astro might not last much longer?
Well, I think I might be able to keep it going a little bit.
Plus, we don't want to be in the same thing that we just left.
Yeah. Okay, so I will first do a larceny dex to break in. And then I will do a larceny dex to hotwire it, because larceny actually is the skill for both of these. So, and with lockpicking, I have a specialization in that. So, second attribute is dex.
Just be looking around, make sure like no one's coming or something. And there's the wits and awareness.
So I definitely break into that car. And well, I gave it a 2. How about for hot wiring it? You want a difficulty 2 again?
No. With what you just rolled, you're able to pop in that sucker, and when you do, you actually find that this dummy left his keys in the visor.
Gotcha. So I hand the keys over to Dom and help Devin to get in. As I'm pushing.
God!
Yeah, Devin,
what is this towel back here?
I know you are a better driver than me, but right now you seem a little impaired.
What? No. I don't know what you're talking about.
And we can easily swap out license plates and stuff. So
I'm just. This back seat is nasty. I'm gonna have to burn these clothes.
You do realize you're in one of the sedans, right?
Yeah.
Huh?
Okay.
I thought we were in the van.
We're in a nicer sedan than a beater van.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
We're in a nicer sedan. Okay.
Okay.
We're in one of the sedans.
I didn't realize
I did hear
sedan
you
was
guys
nice.
say that maybe we shouldn't take a van since we just got rid of a van. So that's what
Yeah.
I was
Yeah.
saying.
Right.
There's an Astro van. We just got rid of an Astro van, so.
Gotcha.
Yeah. I didn't realize the sedan was a nicer vehicle. I just heard beater.
Okay. Do you think you can put Dom up for the night?
Yeah.
We got a couple names.
Go back to my place.
Or not Dom. Sorry, Dom. Do you think you can put Devin up for the night?
Yeah. Is
So
there
I
anything
don't think he
to worry about
wants
with
to
this
be in the
whole, new world thing? Is there anything I should really worry about for the night, or should we just go back to your place?
sunlight. Well, I mean, you can come to the crypt. I don't mind.
Because, it might take me a little while to get my place up to snuff. If we have to worry about something.
Then come on over to the crypt.
Can we get a change of clothes or something? Can I swim by at least do that at the house or?
I know a nice 24/7 thrift shop that's open.
I was just gonna say. I mean, I can break into the donation box.
I mean, we don't need to steal literally everything.
Oh, wow. You live a
Make your
completely
first
different life.
shirts.
So yeah,
So,
we'll
I
head
mean-
to a nice thrift store.
Okay.
And you might want to pick them up a sleeping bag or something.
Gotcha.
Well, that's shit.
Okay,
That's right. it's in
for your
back.
reference, the car you have boosted is a Nissan Sentra.
Okay. Not the biggest car, not the smallest car.
And while they're
It
in
is
the
a
thrift
four. It
store,
is a 4-door car.
Mm-hmm.
and while they're in the thrift store, I am changing out license plates with just another random car.
All right. Not gonna have you roll for that. That's easy enough.
Yeah, because I mean, let's face it, nobody looks at their license plate.
Not until they get pulled over in a school zone.
Exactly.
Been there, done that. All right. So where am I at? There we go.
So yeah, I can. Well, do you have your wallet or anything, or is all of your stuff gone?
When I got my shows, I put my wallet, my phone, my keys, all in my bag right there.
Gotcha. All right, I'll cover you.
All right. Apparently I gotta change my identity, so maybe I should pick up some dye.
You know,
Hair
we
dye
don't
or
have to
something?
go to a thrift store. We could go to like a Walmart. I just realized.
Yeah.
Let's go to Walmart.
I was just like, wait, we could go to a store that's open, not just a thrift store. I don't know why I was thinking thrift store.
Because you're with Judd.
It's like,
Or
we're not
Jude,
going to
Jude,
steal
excuse me,
everything.
Jude.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Jude, Judd. I keep forgetting.
Okay.
But yeah, clothes, hair dye for you if you want that. Clothes
Yeah.
for myself as well. I've got how many dots and resources? 2 dots and resources, so
And you know where the Walmart's at. So there's no need for any kind of memory and rolls, whatever. So you pull up to the Walmart. The parking lot's pretty close to being empty because it is getting pretty late. By this time, it's after midnight.
Okay.
I believe you guys went to the club around 10.
yeah, it would have been 10 o'clock. It was
And
like
you've driven
10:30
from
we
one
got
side
to
of
the
the town
club.
to the other side of the town and then back. So, and we'll say it's 12:30-ish.
Okay.
Now might be a good time to get a new phone if we need it. You know, one of them simple minutes plans or whatever. If you want one.
Okay. Yeah, I guess. I mean, what's gonna happen with us? I mean,
It's better to
apparently,
play safe than this is like, you know, in the store. It's not really the place to have this conversation.
Okay.
But yeah, no,
Yeah.
there's a reason I'm not in upstate anymore. And you know,
Okay. Apparently, I heard what did with the boss man. Apparently. Oh wait, maybe we shouldn't talk about that either. Okay.
clothes, new phone.
All right.
Anything else you need?
Well, these glasses kind of look cool. Yeah. Yeah. Sorry.
Nope.
I'll
That's
get
fine.
you back, man.
Yeah, I'll probably grab a flashlight as well while I'm there. Just, you know, since apparently these guys have no trouble in the dark, scary crypt walking around.
Mm-hmm.
I'll get myself a flashlight.
Didn't realize there was dark, scary crypt because I woke up with my eyes.
Yep. got everything I need.
So we're heading back to the crypt.
I think that's what we're doing. Gonna spend some time during the night, getting my place set up so it's, livable.
Okay.
Apparently.
All right, so what y'all doing?
Guess we go back to the crypt, and is there like a fountain nearby the crypt or something that I can like get some water and kind of clean myself?
Oh yeah, I'm sure there's a.
Oh, y'all.
Sure, there's a fountain in the cemetery that's probably been consecrated. You can go ahead and get you cleaned up.
You also could have bought baby wipes.
Okay. Well, I gotta, wash the dye out of my hair and all that.
Down in the river is probably just fine, Don't gotta worry about anything filthy, dirty, nasty getting in you.
Have you been in that river?
I live on that river.
I don't know how you do it.
In a boat.
Okay. In a boat.
How does he do it? He doesn't live on the water itself. Yeah, just lay the blanket out on top of the water.
Yeah, just an inflatable raft and floating around.
So you guys are making your way out of Walmart.
Yep, go back to the car and...
So I guess when we get back to the crypt, I'll start working on changing my eye color, or not my eye color, my hair color and all that stuff, and try to look like a different person.
I mean, if you want to change eye color, I can try and, reach out and find somebody that does tattooing. I've seen some weird folk that do that. They literally tattoo their eyes. They're crazy.
Why don't I just get colored contacts?
That'd probably be a better idea, actually.
Yeah.
Less permanent, but...
Wait a minute now. I have to ask this because you've done this the entire game.
What's that?
Are you certain that you're not an interview with a vampire-type vampire? If you go to cut and dye your hair, are you certain it's not going to be the same when you wake up the next morning?
That I don't know. I'll have to find out.
Okay. I'm just wondering if you have that mentality in there somewhere.
I do, but he would. I didn't because I totally forgot about it. But yeah.
All right. So you're at the crypt. You are using the fountain or whatever to rinse your hair, do your hair.
Yeah.
And what are the other two doing?
I'm going to be talking with Judd and learning as much about what craziness is actually going to be happening from here on out and what I need to do to not die right out.
Right. And you also probably need to figure out, what's been activated in your blood. You seem to be a little bit stronger.
I feel like I have a little more, balance as well.
Oh, okay. So, that's the type of things we need to kind of figure it out, because if the more you know, the easier it'll be to survive. Beyond that, we can talk about more of what Christoph was referring to with Camarilla and Anarchs and all that stuff.
Apparently, me and him are kind of the same to a degree, so I guess he'll have a lot more knowledge on what I can do.
Yeah. If he's Bruja or Bruja, it seems that everyone has a different pronunciation. It seems like the older people have a different pronunciation than the younger. But you know what? Doesn't matter. Y'all are part of the same clan. So he can take care of you and help you train.
See, if you were Rod, I'd think that was a jab at me, not the character. The older people. Even though he's like a year younger than I am.
Well, I'm the older person, so. But yeah, he can help you train, but we probably should talk about some of the basics.
Yeah, and that's kind of what I'm trying to get from you is just learning the basics of need to know to not die right out.
Yeah. And, you know, I will have to say this, you know, we haven't done it yet, but and Christoph might be able to help you with this much more than I, but you're probably going to have to feed on the human at some point.
So it is like more real vampire stuff that you hear in the lore.
Well, yeah.
And
I mean, he
stories.
was drinking a, glass of someone, but most vampires, to really sate that hunger, they need to, it's kind of gross, but yeah, you're gonna have to like lock your lips around somebody and stick your fangs in. Yeah. Just never. I always found it a little unhygienic.
It sounds extremely, yeah.
You see it now.
Can
you like? Can I wipe this section with this? Yeah, let me clean this section off right here. Here we go. Thank you.
So what do you do about the, bite marks to, because that's going to leave obvious trace.
Yeah. You can lick it and you can heal it. Your saliva
okay.
actually. Well, okay. I will say this. Unless you're one of the unfortunate people, or kindred, your bite your saliva kind of makes them excited.
Gotcha.
About this time, I'll walk in licking. What?
Yeah,
What are we
apparently, when you bite somebody for, not dying, so you don't go crazy or whatever, you have to lick the wound to get rid of the bite marks, but apparently there's some people that just doesn't work with. And are you meaning vampires or?
Oh, no.
People?
There were some vampires that can't do it. Some kindred. It seems to be
Gotcha.
something about the more recent kindred that have been having that problem. They're usually known as the thin blood. Then there are some people that they call it the kiss is painful. Normally it's not painful. You kind of have some anesthesia that kind of blocks a lot of the pain for your victim.
Gotcha.
But that's what you see when Devin walks back in.
You get flashed with a flashlight. Since we're in that little dark crypt.
Oh wait, where did you post it?
Discord.
Savannah Kindred.
Okay.
Well, ain't you just the fanciest?
Yes. Go dogs. Okay.
That is their colors.
Yeah.
And if he turns around, he's got a big bulldog symbol on the back of the jacket. Didn't realize it was there earlier.
Hey, you blended real well over here. Because this is Ugga's hometown.
Mm-hmm. Well, ain't you just the belle of the ball, Devin?
Well, I know we're vampires, but this crypt, and no offense, Judd.
Judd.
Judd. Okay.
And if you've noticed, Judd keeps switching his name on him all the time.
No, just Judd's fine, but Jude says.
This is kind of dank. I mean, do all vampires have to live like this, or
do you think Christoph lives like this?
I don't know.
I doubt it.
This first time. Okay, so
I mean, the prince of the city has a mansion.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so who's that?
Oh, okay.
And what's all that all about? You mentioned like Camarilla and whatnot stuff.
Since we talked about this, okay. History. Okay. We're the descendants of Cain. Like Bible, Genesis.
Cain and Abel?
Yeah. Cain, cursed by God, became the first vampire. All vampires traced back to him.
Got kicked out and ended up with Lilith or something.
Okay, there are some people that think Lilith was the founder, but we won't get into that. You know,
I was talking about the
okay,
Jewish thing. Okay.
Yeah. Well, okay. We're not going to go through all the back history because it's truthfully really boring, and does yeah. Anyway, the first Inquisition occurred. A lot of people, and you probably know about that. You've heard about the Inquisition.
Spanish Inquisition.
Yeah, Spanish Inquisition.
Yeah, nobody expects the Spanish Inquisition.
Yeah. Okay, well, the vampires didn't. And it was the first time humans rebelled against vampires and started killing them. And so this started this concept of the masquerade, that we need to hide ourselves in plain sight. We just don't reveal who we are. We don't control villages, and like we're some evil big beast. We don't make ourselves known. Okay, well, let's just face it, people don't always agree on how to basically do something. It's really hard to rule by committee. And so the Camarilla started kind of this all thing. And in the Camarilla, every city has a prince, and they are the law of the land. Everything the prince says is law. So you can't make another vampire unless you get the prince's permission. That's a big one. You're not supposed to kill another vampire unless you're given permission. Okay. You definitely don't drain a vampire to death. Okay. Because that will get you into some real trouble, and it's not just, getting burned at the stake. This is being drawn and quartered and then having your parts spread across the country to burn in the sun. They don't like that. So you just don't do things like that. Well, that's in the Camarilla. Okay. But let's face it, there are people that don't like to have one person in charge, and they like to rebel. So that's where the anarchs came from. That, they want to be free. We want to be free. We want to have a democracy. Okay.
They also
so you don't vote for Prince?
They also believe in the use of modern technology, whereas the Camarilla does not.
Right. Yeah. And so they anyway, there was one last group, and this kind of started with a group of vampires that was really involved with the church, the Catholic Church, and they're really strong in religion and, well, some freaky religions. Okay, they're well, we won't go into their name. They were originally called the La Sombra. That's not really how they go by anymore. But anyway, they and another group of really creepy vampires, the one that I said Dracula kind of is from, they formed this other group that's pseudo-religious called the Sabbat, and they really don't agree with the whole masquerade thing. So if you ever read stories or urban legends where you go into a warehouse and there are 50 bodies hung upside down and people going around biting them, that's where that came from. It's them.
Okay.
I mean, they're monsters, and they embrace that. And that's why they're also really popular with the Second Inquisition, the SI.
Okay.
Because humans kind of found out about us again, too much machinations from some people, and they've gone into entire cities and cleaned them out. And these Sabbat people kind of got a lot of attention drawn to them. So.
Okay.
They're still around. Don't mess with them because they're batshite crazy.
Yeah.
So we got the Caramels,
the Camarillas,
Camarillas.
Yeah, it means secret society.
Okay, the Caballeros, the
Sabat.
Sabbats, and Anarchs. And do we?
And let's just say this: Anarchs, big A circle, that's who they are. And then you kind of have people like Christoph who are independent. They
Okay,
in the
so
last
we don't have
decade
to
or so.
join.
No, you don't. I mean, it's safer in a group.
Okay.
Okay. Seems like Christoph has formed his own group.
Okay.
And I mean,
so
the thing is, you want support. Huh?
Okay. How did the guy get voted as prince or girl as prince or the prince?
He killed everyone that stood in his way.
That's not very
Now I thought from what you just said that was really bad juju.
Well, yeah,
So
it doesn't mean he killed them. Some people had accidents.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no, I know exactly what you're talking about now.
Right.
Yeah.
Somebody set the clock the wrong time
in your old life.
Yeah, no, when he said he killed them, it's like, what do you mean? Oh, they had accidents. Ah, yes.
Yeah. Somebody set their clock ahead and they stayed out too late and the sun came up,
Yeah, somebody just, woke up outside for no reason.
Yeah, I mean, they were taking a shower and didn't realize somebody put holy water in it.
Is that a thing we got to worry about?
Consecrated things still hurt a lot of people, yeah.
Okay, so no.
I mean, like a cross. Okay, if some doodad out there pulls up a cross, it's not going to do a thing. But if you have somebody that really believes, it can have an effect. But
okay.
you have to find something that really believes. And I mean, let's face it. How many people around here do you think really believe in anything?
Yeah, so like going to the Vatican, terrible idea. Going to Las Vegas, great idea.
Yeah. Except that was one of the places they pretty much wiped out.
Oh, that sucks.
I mean, well, let's face it. Doesn't it seem obvious that that's a place vampires would go?
I guess maybe, yeah.
Yeah.
See, yeah.
So,
does that help?
Yeah.
Not really.
I'll draw you a map.
One says yes, one says not really.
Yeah. So,
so here's a Venn diagram of it.
So I do got a question though.
Yeah.
There's this feeling that I got real deep inside. It feels buried away, but not really. It's just gnawing at me. And, earlier when we were tied up, I kind of lost a little bit of control, it felt like.
Oh.
What's that all about?
You're talking about the beast.
The what?
The beast. Okay.
Oh, we can shapeshift?
No. No, you're not part of that clan. So, I hear it's painful. Anyway,
But there are some that can?
Oh, yeah. I mean, bats, wolves. Yeah.
Oh, okay. That's interesting.
They're usually now part of the anarch groups. Very few are left in the Camarilla. But anyway, okay. When you were human, you probably got mad at people, right?
Oh, yeah, all the time.
So mad that you could just punch him in the face, right?
Oh, I did.
Well, okay. So you actually let your beast out while you were still a human. Okay. It's just when you become a vampire, that beast becomes much more a part of you.
Oh.
And it wants out.
Is that why I kept checking out the girl's ass?
No, I think you just got an eye for pretty things, and you can't let that go.
Yeah, you're a Toreador. Yeah, I mean,
it was kind of like when you were entranced by the music, except you couldn't stop staring at her ass.
Mm-hmm. See, do you like painting, sculptures? Okay, so the worst place you could be is a museum. I mean, I've heard toreadors who were just so entranced by a piece of art they didn't care that the sun came up.
Oh.
I put in chat for your
Places.
benefit of places that have been cleared.
London, Las
That
Vegas,
you know.
Paris, Marseilles.
So only one of those places apply to us.
Well, that's just
So
knowledge
far.
he would have, since he already told you Vegas is one of the first ones they took down.
Yeah. Okay, so they probably have a stronghold in
Vienna.
Vegas. Vienna?
Vienna was also there.
Sausage?
No. I'm just saying it's Dan.
Oh, I could use some barbecue.
Vienna. Yes, it was, because they considered it, that was the first place they struck.
Yeah, that was
they
the first
considered
place.
it the capital.
Yep. And that's why the Tremere got pretty much wiped out. Or they lost their pyramid. Okay, so yeah, the vampires are pretty much laying low. The Camarilla has banned all technology. The Nosferatu used to run a dark web site for vampire, and that got hacked by the humans. Really bad. There are still some Nosferatu that kind of do play around with tech. The Anarchs are fine with using tech. The Sabbat, I mean, when you have a group of religious fanatics that are a little bit crazy anyway, there's no telling what they're going to do. Yeah, ShrekNet. ShrekNet.
Of course.
The big green ogre dude.
Yeah, that was the name of the dark website for vampires.
So it's probably not a good idea to visit that at all because you're going to
no, it's gone. It's gone.
Oh.
I mean, all traces of it are gone.
Well, I was thinking it'd probably, put a marker on your back if you even, looked it up.
Oh, yeah. Pretty much, yeah.
So, technology is not a bad thing. You just got to be careful with it.
Yeah. Now, I mean, Camarilla, they pretty much took all of it out.
Mm-hmm.
And, I mean, it's really disrupted their communication because, most young people don't know cursive.
So are the Amish actually vampires?
Amish?
No. Not that I know of.
They ride around horse and buggy.
They got rid of all technology.
Well, okay.
Have they turned?
The prince still has his TV, but what I'm saying is all personal communication. We don't text each other. If it's a phone call, it's going to be on burners.
So you're Camarilla.
Well, yeah, my fire is. And I mean, I am too. I was, shown, I was acknowledged by the prince.
Gotcha.
Okay.
But
so
I have
no meet our sires?
No, they're dead.
Yeah, no. If you remember anything
vampires?
at all, go ahead.
I just remember. Go ahead.
No, I said go ahead.
I was telling. All I remember is the lovely lady started nibbling on my ear and neck, and then I woke up here.
It felt really good, didn't it?
Oh yeah.
Okay, Dom, that's what I was trying to say about the kiss.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Okay. I'm not. If I remember correctly, she got blown in half.
No.
I mean, Dom Sire took it straight to took Dragonfire right to the face, and so.
Okay.
So fire's a bad thing.
Fire is a bad thing. I mean,
Fire,
let's face it, fire
water.
is just cleansing for everything. Well, I mean, holy water, if it's really holy water, somebody that really believed blessed it. I mean, I wouldn't go over to the cathedral.
So, what about garlic bread? Can I eat that?
Well, you're not going to eat anything
other than blood.
Yeah. I mean,
is there any way to it all? No matter, or is it just
okay? You can't I mean, you can force yourself to eat, okay?
Uh-huh.
But what comes up is not going to be pleasant.
Oh.
Gotcha.
I mean, and Christoph already said it. Everything kind of tastes like ash. Not
I thought you
ass.
said ass.
Ash. No, not ass. Just to make sure, ash, as in, a fireplace.
So
if
probably
you-
like
Sucks.
Grandpa over there in the corner.
Yeah.
What the fuck's he talking about me for?
Well, just a reference. Just a reference.
Well, I think it's rather rude. He's in my house.
Well,
What's he
yes,
talking to?
yes.
I've
And
no
I'm sure
idea.
he is very grateful that he is, in your tomb. And,
Who you-
great grandmother's tomb.
Talk about me tasting like ash. You need new friends.
Well, I'm thinking more of a fireplace ash. You decomposed. You weren't cremated.
Who decomposed?
My great some odd great grandfather.
Oh. So why are you
He's
telling
still
us
here.
he decomposed? Where?
So
Stands right behind Devon.
He's standing right behind you.
Boom.
But don't worry about it. Yeah, you're not going to see him.
gotcha.
Okay.
Oh, I
Yeah.
feel him inside me. Oh, it's weird. You need new friends.
Probably.
Probably regretting not staking us into the illness outside.
Yeah.
But does that help? If you have any other questions, please ask.
How come you're able to stealth and when I'm trying to think really, really hard?
He
I
said it
can't
was like a
handle
bloodline thing. Like we
Yeah,
can't,
it's in
but
your
it can
blood.
be taught.
Well, yeah, you just have to
That's
kind
a
of
real
agree with
Jewish
somebody and drink their blood, and they can start teaching it to you. But this is the other thing. We don't normally go around drinking each other's blood for a reason.
Gotcha.
It's called a blood bond. When you drink another vampire's blood, the first time you kind of get an attraction to them. You kind of, find yourself longing for them. Second time, it gets a little bit more intense. Third time, you're pretty much their slave.
Gotcha.
So you don't want to make it a habit of drinking the blood of another vampire.
So it comes at a cost to learn stuff, basically.
Yeah. Or a risk. But you have to get a sample of their blood in you to learn another skill.
So what can we do? Apparently I can do Jedi mind tricks, but I can't lift things with my mind. I tried that in the back of the truck.
Oh yeah, that's not no. The Tremere used to be able to do things like that, but they don't really do
The
it
who?
anymore. The clans. Let's
Okay.
just talk about the clans. As I said, you're a Bruja. Okay,
Yeah.
I'm
We'll
Bruja.
just start
No,
with the
me.
bees. Yeah,
You.
Dom is Bruja.
So we're doing the birds and the bees.
Yeah. So,
Okay.
Bruja are strong, they're fast, and I think they dominate. Gosh, dang it.
Bruja, no, presence.
Oh, it's presence. Okay.
Celerity,
And-
potence, presence.
Yeah, and they have a presence about them. They can awe people. They can make people scared of them. People like a prince might actually be so powerful that you can't find yourself even able to hurt them. It deals with presence. You have that same power. That ability to awe people, the ability to kind of get them to come around to your way of thinking. It's a very social control of people. There is something else that's much more jackhammer, where you just dominate the other person. You just mentally crush them into submission.
Okay.
The big difference from what I've seen is that people who have presence about them, the people they work on for long periods of time, kind of become friends. They like being with you. Dominate tends to just create submissive slaves. You know,
Okay.
pounding their personality into the ground. The gangrel, as I said, they don't really stick with the Cramoril all that often anymore. But the gangrel, they're the ones that can change shape. They're outdoorsy. They like to hunt, things like that. The same with my clan, even though I haven't really learned how to do it, I've just never seen the point. It's a fondness for animals, that you gain an ability to kind of control animals and talk to the animals. But at the same time, they have better control of the beast than other vampires. And they can actually even pull the beast out of other vampires. I saw that once. It was not a pretty thing. And
Okay.
they're also pretty tough to hurt.
Okay.
So they have an ability very similar to my clan, where it's just tough to hurt us. Then, well, probably the ones you want to avoid the most are the Malkavians. They are crazy. I mean certifiably. Right? Even if they weren't crazy before they were embraced and turned into vampires, they're going to become crazy. Their blood induces insanity.
Alrighty.
Yeah, and they have heightened senses. They can see auras. They also talk about a lot of other crazy stuff, visions and premonitions, and one that I know, who kind of lives on the street some. He's a street preacher at night. He talks about being able to see the web of the universe. The problem is sometimes they're right. You can't really determine if they're crazy or if they actually have some insight.
So because they have that, premonition and ability to, see past certain veils, if you say so, they might not be crazy, but they're always crazy anyway.
Yeah.
So, flying spaghetti monster crazy, it might actually be a thing.
Yeah.
But nobody knows.
But nobody but them know.
So does that mean Crazy Eddie is a vampire?
Have you seen him during the day?
Yeah, never mind. He's just crazy.
Yeah. Like some other people, they can pound somebody's will into submission, and like me, they can just disappear.
Okay.
Then my clan, the Nosferatu, well, as you know, we can turn invisible. We also have an affinity with animals. I just never really learned it. And then we have, we're really strong. Like the Bruja, we're really strong. Zeke, the street preacher.
Okay.
Okay. Now, I haven't gone through this, but every bloodline also kind of has a flaw. Like me, if somebody were to describe me, I would probably be seen as somebody sick, diseased, don't have hair. My ears are kind of strange looking. I look ugly. I know. I mean, all Nosferatu have that same appearance. And I mean, it's like we get embraced the next morning, no hair. Yeah. You, Devin, you get entranced by things. Bruja, you know, have you ever just gotten that? We talked about it. That rage.
Yeah.
Okay, it's not just the beast for you. Your clan really has a chip on its shoulder.
All right.
Got it?
Yeah.
Yeah, Malkavians are crazy. Okay. Then there's a group which has a jaded history. They started off as mortal sorcerers who became vampires. They decided they wanted immortality and they chose vampirism. And they're known as the Tremere. So far as we understand, the founder was Tremere. That's how it got its name. All of our clan names kind of came from the originator in some way, shape, or form. The Tremere are sorcerers. They're blood sorcerers. And I would just say don't
Magic's
piss
real?
yeah.
Well, it's
So
kind
it
of,
goes.
picking up on a lot of things real quick. It's like, okay, so vampires are real. Ghosts are apparently real.
Yeah.
Werewolves are apparently real.
Yeah.
Why not magic? Why
Yeah.
not the Loch Ness Monster? Why not
Nessie.
I've heard some rumors about that, but no, not really. I don't know about that. I mean, supposedly there are some other things out there, but they don't interact with anything else that much. So
What about
they're kind of
skinwalkers, Wendigo, stuff like that?
Santa
those
Claus.
are werewolves. Those are werewolves.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Santa
If it's
Claus,
a shape
Easter
changer
Bunny.
and not a vampire, it's a werewolf, probably.
Gotcha.
And from what I've understood, there are different races of them as well.
So, like, they have their own clan-esque thing.
Well, yeah, but also races. Like, my sire talked about knowing a rat shape changer. I mean, supposedly our clan and them have had dealings in the past. Don't know much more about them. I've never met one. Just my sire talked about it. And as I said, there are other things. There are other things out. If there's been legend or a myth, it's probably based somewhat on this being out there. Yeah.
Okay.
I've heard older vampires talk about demons, so yeah, things are out there. But yeah, the Tremere are known for sorcery. And
Okay.
I mean, we're talking black, really bad blood magic crap. Okay.
The kind that makes your blood.
Then there are the Toreador.
Hey, that's me.
Apparently
Exactly.
so.
They're sometimes called the artists.
I can dig it.
As I said, you have heightened senses. You have your Jedi mind trip. You also, Toreadors are also known for being fast, really well balanced, kind of like Dom.
Oh.
Okay, you share a couple of traits. Then there's the last clan, the Ventru. See, for a long time, we got divided up into what were called high clans and low clans. The Toreadors and Ventru have always been high clans. Nosferatu have always been low clans. Gangrel have always been low clans. Just think of somebody that has their nose so high in the air that it's sticking up their own butt. That's a Ventru.
Okay.
Okay, I mean, they think they are the cream of the crop that, they've considered themselves the kings and queens of everything.
The hell?
Now, the thing about them is they can pound your will into submission, or they can make friendly, and they're really hard to kill. But yeah. Yeah, that's why I was saying you're going to have to start practicing to figure out what you can do.
Yeah, I don't have that discipline that can make me
Yeah.
quick and fast, and so
Yeah,
that's
you
why
don't
I
have
need
what
that.
I have.
Mhm. I mean, if it's part of your bloodline, it's going to manifest at some point, unless you're just actively trying to hide from it. And then the only other things that are out there are groups called the Thin Bloods. And the idea is that they're very far from the blood of Cain. Y'all have had a lot for tonight, so we won't talk about blood relation to Cain and how close you are to Cain. But at some point, the blood gets so dilute that they're daywalkers. They can actually stand being out in the sun for periods of time. It's hard for them to really manifest the normal powers of a vampire. And, truthfully, a lot of other vampires just like killing them. And then there's a group called the Catif, or Catif, again, where their blood doesn't match a bloodline. For some reason, their blood produces different results than expected. Camarilla doesn't like them. Anarchs are fine with them.
Okay.
Gotcha.
Oh. Apparently, I'm
Don't
not very
worry.
graceful.
Hmm?
Apparently, I'm not very graceful.
Well, not yet. All toreadors grow into that sooner or later.
Okay.
Unless something went wrong in your cave.
I don't know.
Well, I mean, he's addicted to shiny things, so I would assume he's not Catif.
Pretty much puts him right smack dab in the toreador clan.
Well, from everything you've told us, I'm glad I'm not part of your clan. No offense, but I got a very good jawline, I would say.
But
Very soft.
And as I said, I mean, Christoph will probably help y'all with this, but at some point you're going to have to do your first eating from a human.
Have you ever done that? I mean, you like those bags.
Once.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah, I'm just ew. Biting into people I've never really liked.
So then why didn't you let us do that last night?
That was this night. Earlier this night.
Or this night?
Yeah, I mean, y'all drink from blood bags, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of how I do it.
I think he's saying why you didn't let us go out and say hello to the neighbors.
Oh, gotcha. Why? You're still young. You're still neonates, is the term most kindred use for those who are just hurt. It's a matter of control. When you start, you don't stop. You remember that beast I talked about? Okay. It comes up real close to the surface when you're hungry, when you're really hungry, like last night. And it's hard not to stop, and you end up killing people. Which means we then have to dispose of the bodies. And then there's always police investigations. And I really don't want a police investigation of the cemetery.
Okay.
Digging up a lot of
Especially
graves.
right outside my crypt.
Yeah, digging up a lot of graves.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's just really, it's just that y'all probably wouldn't have stopped.
Okay. And so, do you know any corridors who could help me out?
Well, Christoph knows one.
Yeah, if you
DJ.
remember earlier, yeah, that gal that he flew in, she was a Toreador.
She was a corridor? Okay.
Yeah.
And so he probably brought in a couple people from different clans that he might know. If not sure what y'all were going to be, so he might have brought in some friends.
Okay.
Because they can help you kind of learn a little bit more.
Now,
And
they're not folks from that one group who you said was going to kill us because we weren't made properly, or?
Well, if they're his friends, I would assume they would be similar to the unaligned or whatever he is.
Yeah, the independents. Okay. Yeah, I mean, recently a lot of people, I mean, ever since Gehenna started,
do go into whatever that is.
What?
Oh, go into whatever that is, yeah.
Oh, shit. I started something else. Okay, myth. There has been a myth for a long time that the great elders are going to rise up, the founders of clans or their direct descendants are going to rise up and if you're different groups, I think they have different ideas of what's going to happen, lead us into a new era of greatness, dominating all of humankind, or killing all vampires off. But in the last decade, a lot of our elders have gone missing. They seem to have gone, oh, wait, I'm hearing my sires calling me, and they have disappeared. They've wandered off. It used to be, we had some really old vampires around. I mean, really old. Okay. Nowadays, it's hard to find vampires that are older than about 300, maybe 400 years old.
Still really old. But if this is coming from, like you say, Cain, that would be thousands of years.
Right. Yeah. So there's something going on with our elders.
Well, mine's dead.
Yeah. So, don't worry about it. But basically, it's this big mythical battle that supposedly started.
From the way you acted, that's probably not something that should be talked about.
Oh, no. Yeah, okay. Yeah. Words like kindred, Gehenna, clan names, things like that, don't talk about them in public. Best way of getting the feds on you.
Okay. All right. So we eat blood to survive ourselves. Now, when we're human and we had to rid our body of toxins. Do we still do that?
No, not really. I mean, you kind of consume the blood and it's going to keep you alive, but, there's no more bathroom breaks needed.
Okay. So the human side of us are just shit out of luck.
Yeah, you're not going to sweat. You're not going to salivate. Well, you do when you want to. As I said before, you can get yourself up. It's going to take some blood to do it. It's not going to be a natural thing anymore.
So,
But yeah, I mean, all those bodily functions is kind of a relief.
okay.
So do we sleep at all, or is that kind of an optional choice now?
No, pretty much when the sun comes up, you're going to fall asleep. Unless
Gotcha.
you have a really strong will. And then
Gotcha.
even then, it's not going to be for long.
All right.
Okay. So we're up during
The night.
now. Can we come out like dawnish or duskish? I mean, you know,
Okay.
a little bit of sun gonna hurt us, or
Oh yes, even a little bit of sun. Now, when you get to what my sire called the gloaming of the evening, you can come out. I mean, that's when the sun has already gone down past the horizon, and just off in the distance, you can see like those purple colored lights over the horizon.
okay.
You know, the sun has pretty much gone down at that point. But yeah, no, if the sun is over the horizon, you stay in.
Okay.
Even if it's just a tiny bit, it's going to hurt.
So like sunblock wouldn't help.
Nope.
Hmm.
And the moon is fine. I mean, the reflected light of the sun doesn't seem to do anything.
Okay.
Unless you're a werewolf.
Interesting.
Luckily, I've never met one. I hear they're really not fun to meet.
Okay.
Luckily, I hear they also don't come into the city.
So where do we go from here? Do we just go on? Since apparently I can no longer go back to my life, and apparently the cops are looking at his van, so his
Well,
name's
my van's gone,
yeah.
and I'm gonna come back clean anyway.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And
Go ahead.
Christoph said he was going to send somebody to talk to us tomorrow. So,
They'll find us, so probably best hang around and not go, chasing any leads that are unnecessary at this point.
Speaking of hanging around, do we sleep in the rafters?
Oh no, there are a couple niches that nobody is using, so you can bunk in one of those.
You ain't sleeping near me.
Okay.
No, don't worry. I was going to put him over there where Uncle Teddy used to be.
Who's Uncle Teddy?
And why did he only used to be
Relative.
there?
His there was a drip, and his coffin pretty much just deteriorated. So I put him with his wife.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, I hear they were really unhappy in life, so I thought it'd be a great match from death.
Oh, I'm sure that they would love that then.
Yeah.
Okay.
But they haven't come back.
Hung from rafters when we slept or not, because like in the movies.
Oh, you mean actually like just God, no. That's why I said get a sleeping bag.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Well, the human side of me needs to go relief.
Your human side's
relief
gone.
in what?
You're a kindred now. He needs to go to the bathroom and take a break.
The player. The player needs to take a bathroom break.
I need to leave.
Gotcha.
There's no human side of Devin anymore.
You don't need to, Marcus. You're fine.
All right, so we'll take a quick 5-minute break for bathroom breaks, and we'll be.
I got a bottle. All right.
Yeah, we're not doing that on stream.
Just mute yourself. Don't let us know. Just mute yourself.
So yeah, we'll be back in about 5 minutes, ladies and gentlemen. Don't go too far, and we'll see what happens next.
Heinz.
Yeah. So we left off. Jude, whatever he lets you call him, was filling in our two new turns to what the masquerade is and what there is to worry about in your new unlife. And telling you where you can sleep.
Yeah.
And you don't have to sleep in the rafters.
Yes, you do not have to try to cling to the rafters with your toes.
I mean, how long can you be a bat with animalism? That's something I haven't checked. I don't got it.
Yeah. We don't want to.
So, is there like someone of the vampire, like a consultant in Hollywood that like jacks up the tropes so it's not leaked? Because
Probably.
You know, there probably has been.
Okay.
How much of that still goes on now? No idea.
Because these vampire movies are so way off.
And that's probably how they're liking to keep it.
Yeah. It's sleep time. So, sun is starting to come up.
I figured you guys could like tell me what kind of role play for that would be. I didn't want to interrupt the conversation.
Yeah.
But yeah, the sun is starting to come up outside. You guys don't see it because you're in a closed-in crypt, but you can start to hear the different sounds outside that incorporate, daybreak is fastly approaching.
Birds.
And also, you're probably starting to feel a little sluggish. I know I am.
Gotcha.
This is usually a warning that we're getting toward dawn.
I'll go over to one of the little alcoves he talked about and try to like clean it up the best I can. Just, grab some of the wipes and wipe it down. Yes, I am a little prudish.
Yes.
I'll just set up on the ground.
And I just curl on the ground.
Okay. And you guys fall out into nothingness. Until the sun decides to set. So you guys can give me a rouse check.
I gotta find that button again. There she is. I'm hungry.
Yep, you wake up with...
Too hungry now.
Yep.
And I pull open that cooler and then toss each of you a bag.
You sure now wouldn't be a good time to start learning?
Remember what I said? The hungrier you are, the harder it is sometimes to control the beast.
Did you get
I'll
anything
defer to
that,
your knowledge.
that Christoph had?
No, don't have any of that. I mean, there are ways to collect that type of stuff. I'm sure, Christoph will have some for y'all when we get back, but, I think probably a good idea to eat something now if you need it, and then we can go out.
I begrudgingly drink it.
Welcome to your new life, I guess.
Yeah. Now, the thing is, didn't talk about this last night, but over time, a lot of kindred kind of develop what's known as a herd. it's a group of humans that willingly give their blood to you, or for whatever reason. It could be that you've influenced them, you've beaten down their will, whatever. But a lot of kindred kind of build this herd of people they can commonly go to. Other than that, you have to kind of go outside and hunt. And
like going to the gym, I sometimes frequent would be. I got a couple of people I know there.
Well, I mean, you don't want to tell them what you are at first. Truthfully, I don't understand how to build a herd. I've never had one. Christoph might be able to give you some pointers on things like that, but
well, you don't need to let them know necessarily.
Well, yeah.
From the sounds of it, it's just you show up and they have a good time, and you're gone by the time they're aware of anything. From the sounds of it.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, yeah. I mean, supposedly everyone has a way of hunting that they prefer.
Yeah, I'll probably just drag someone down in an alley. Keep it quiet.
Yeah. I mean, I kind of had a feeling that might be your way.
What do you think my way is?
I have no idea. I could see you putting on some music, because you seem to like music. Beyond that, I have no idea.
Maybe a ladies' man with a little
sort
bit
of like a what was his name?
Some of that magical influence.
An opium den.
Hey, there you go. I know one of them places, but it's way up north, so
The
probably
crack
a little
house.
far.
I can find you a crack house if that would help.
I mean, he does love his uppers.
Yeah. So maybe throw on some little Marvin Gaye and candles and.
I mean, there's always ABBA.
Yeah. Yeah.
But you're not going to find anybody at a rave that's going to be listening to that. That's going to be on uppers.
Yeah.
Hey, it could be just a rave. I mean,
that would probably be an easier place to find someone for you with what you like. I mean, from the sounds of it, if he gets kind of a high off people who have a high, if you kind of necessarily have something you want to feel that night, you just have to find somebody that's been in excess of that.
I see. That's always what's strange to me. People have different reactions when they get turned. I mean, I was a raging heroin addict, before I got turned, and afterwards I couldn't stand the stuff. Couldn't even stand the smell of it on people.
Well, the only drug I really did was ecstasy.
Yeah. I mean, do you still have a craving for it?
A little one, yeah.
Well, okay. Then you might want to find somebody that's doing something like that.
Okay.
Problem is, right now, most of the clubs and raves are probably staked out by the police. I mean, I wish I had a police scanner or something. I could tune it in and we could find out if they are actually looking for you. But I know no one in the police department, so.
The only one I know of, I was kind of a dick too. So probably shouldn't try to reach out to him.
Yeah, probably not a good idea.
Yeah.
So
something about me sleeping with this wife kind of pissed him off, but
yeah. Okay, now I'm gonna go out, make sure the coast is clear, and then I'll open the door for you.
Okay.
All right.
Can we go
Okay.
get my bike?
Probably not.
sometime?
Probably already been impounded.
Shit.
I mean,
So I had nothing.
at your own risk, I would say. But you're on your own doing that.
Okay. No, I'll figure it out. I'm just trying to see if I can gather something of my stuff.
Like I said, it's entirely
Okay.
up to you what you want to do.
I will say this. If you really want to, we can go close to your house. Just don't go in. But I'm going to lay odds that there's nothing left there. I mean, if they want information on you, they probably would have gone through everything.
Yeah. Hey, Dom,
Yeah.
you're like one of those mob guys, right? The way you were talking about doing extra jobs and bags over people's heads. Could we like fake my death?
They would have to have a body.
Oh,
And they would probably do dental and fingerprints and everything like that with to match it up.
oh shit.
I mean,
Oh, and the military has my DNA and all that other crap too. Fuck.
yeah, so even bashing out the teeth and cutting off the fingers, a DNA match would prove otherwise.
Yeah, we don't live in a world where, that's easy anymore. I never had that.
Okay.
But anyway, if you don't mind, I'll be back around in just a little bit. So he goes over to another niche and seems to crawl into a tunnel.
We really need to get it made for this place. We're going to be stuck here.
Well, once I get my place back to a point where it's safer, well, that's going to probably take a little while, a few nights at least of work. Probably uninterrupted to make sure it's completely safe.
Well, let me give you a rouse check because I am going to... Okay. I will have to get some food, so a blood bag, out, and I will drink it free. Because that means, how many do I have left?
You grabbed like
3.
Yeah.
I grabbed 11, so.
Oh yeah, that was right, 11. I was thinking of the amount last time.
Yeah. Okay, so I am hidden. Do I see anyone around the crypt?
You do not see anybody around the crypt.
Okay. And I am checking for any
tonight.
weird surveillance or anything. But then I will pull out the key that I made and open the crypt for them.
All right. Coast is clear as far as you can tell.
Okay. And I should say this, I will also check the other crypt where notes could be left.
Okay. You don't currently... Well, let me rephrase that. You do find a note.
Okay.
And it basically tells you that the gentleman who showed up last night had questions about Devin, because they found his things. Wanted to know if he was working this evening because they had questions for him. They were FBI, is what they flashed their badge as being. They said they did find the body of Susie at the party. And Lisa and Amber have been listed as MIA as well as AJ. and they were checking to see if he or anybody else was with them. They even asked questions about a white van. And in the note it says, I figured I would let you know pretty much what the questions were before you ventured out this evening. But my doors are open if you need to come by.
Okay.
Oh,
So
and there is a little bit of cash in the envelope.
Okay.
Beyond the $200
Perfect.
you were already given.
Okay. Thank you.
So this is for anything that they need when you awake.
Okay. So when I get them, I will let Devin read the note. Well, Dom and Devin read the note before we, get going.
Oh, damn, Susie died.
Yeah, I figured all of them did that were in there from what was going on.
I wonder where
But that's the
AJ
thing.
and the other two girls are.
Well, from what we learned, Amber was dropped off at the hospital and was never seen again. She never checked in, so somebody got a hold of her. So I think it's safe to imply that she's gone. Now, the other one, I don't know.
Think they may be vampires too?
Not a clue.
Well, I will say this. If they are, and they don't have somebody watching out for them, if they're not dead now, they will be within a day or two.
Good. Oh, shit.
I mean, Camarilla knows that there were some loose ends there, so they're going to be looking.
Should we try calling the... Oh, shit. Their numbers are on my phone.
Who?
The girls. I don't remember their numbers. I just typed it in the phone.
I don't think it's safe to contact anybody that was there.
Yeah. No. Now, Christoph has extended an offer if we want to go over there. What I think, though, is, Dom, you probably need to get to your houseboat and get it moved.
Yeah, that's fine. I got a couple of locations it can sit at.
Okay. Well, apparently I can't go home, can't go see the ex, can't call nobody because I don't have anybody's freaking number. I could really use an upper right now.
I mean, we could head over, and I'm sure at the apartments that I live near, there's probably someone high there. I mean, it's a pretty decent complex, and there's plenty of alleys near, so.
Okay.
And it's not terribly far from here, really, so we can walk or we could drive.
Well, it might be good to walk right now, just for you two to kind of get used to just being out.
Okay.
All right. So I'll sling my stuff over my shoulder and get ready to go whenever we're ready.
And the other reason for Jude is that this also allows us to keep an eye out much better for police that might inadvertently be near the marina.
Okay.
So, going over to Dom's houseboat.
Yeah, so basically,
As you make your direction towards the exit, do you go past the parking lot where you parked the car?
Oh, there are other ways out of this place. So I was not thinking of going through the main gates right now.
Just asking.
But let's
probably worth looking at it, making sure, seeing what's going on.
That I would agree. So we will go and check the front.
Check the car?
Well, yeah. go
okay.
close by, but I'm being very paranoid and watching for
You see nothing
any
else in the
activities.
parking lot other than the car, but you do notice it has a parking ticket on the front windshield. That's it.
Those are actually pretty easy to get out of. You just gotta, make enough of a stink and ask for evidence, because a lot of the times they just write the ticket and they carry on. They don't actually take a photo of the, you know.
Yeah. Also, I mean, I can just change the license plate again. You might want a
That
new
too.
color at some point, though.
Not my car.
No, I'm saying if you want to keep it for any length of time, you might want to change the color. But
Oh
I mean,
yeah,
I'm talking spray paint. I'm not talking a real paint job.
yeah, that.
Just sick of
So-
vampire spray paint in a car.
I was sitting there and I was thinking, well, we'll just grab paint thinner or paint stripper and just let it over the top, and when it rusts, it rusts. That's the new color.
Yeah, you
Right.
you have the one vampire that's very persnickety about things. Two that are like, I don't know.
It's like,
I'm
yeah,
out
it's
there with
painted now.
color palettes. Yes, it's just
You paint a
Yeah.
mural on it.
yes.
Yeah, God touching out to Adam.
All right, and you say you're currently
If you
Where?
look at Thunderbolt, just south of East Victory Drive, I-80, basically, we would just go down the road that's right next to the cemetery, and then just past I-80, we'd go down south a little ways to the dock that I'm at. It's at 2% Avenue and River Drive. There's a dock right past there, and there's an apartment complex condominium.
you at Safe Harbor?
It's Thunderbolt Harbor.
No, I mean the name of the place is Safe Harbor Baha'i. Well, and it's the
It's the one just south of that one.
Yeah,
okay.
if you see Tubby's,
I see it. Yeah, gotcha.
Yep. There's the Thunderbolt Harbor condominium. Those two condominiums. There's a little pool there. So I figured maybe on our way there, if he can smell someone that's an upper. So
oh, there's also an Amazon pub locker there.
but yeah, if you find
What is it,
somebody
rehab
you
center?
hey, there might be somebody there.
Ooh.
Right there on Palligant is Thunderbolt Traditional Care and Rehab Center, or Rehabilitation. So what are y'all doing?
If we can find somebody that's on an upper of any sorts, I guess it for him.
Yeah, I don't know how exactly this is going to work. So you're checking the apartment complex, or are you actually going to the rehab center?
How far away is it from it?
Well, the rehab center is about a block away. I don't know where the apartments were.
If it's only a block away, that's not too bad.
The apartments, you talking about there at the corner of Ambrose and Bannon?
No, Tuberson and River.
River.
You are at the Safe Harbor Baja Blue docks. The one just south of that, there's condominiums just attached. There's two big condominium buildings. But
Not the Warsaw Bluff condos. You're talking about the Thunderbolt Harbor condominiums.
Yes.
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 Gotcha. Okay. And you did a wits awareness. You'll get a 2.
And he's got those heightened senses, so.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm right next to town hall. Apparently.
All right. So
Yeah, you're in Thunderbolt Town Hall.
it's still rather early in the evening, so yeah, you catch the smell of some barbecue going. Somebody's cooking out on the grill on one of the patios, or yeah, patio. Let's see. It looks like the Thunderbolt Harbor condominiums actually has an outside pool.
Yep.
And okay, I'll say you find the smell of pot in the air.
Okay.
That's the more prominent smell you're picking up, or scent you're picking up. I mean, you don't think you'll find anybody here that's actually currently doing any X or Molly. Those are usually party type drugs.
Yeah.
So what kind of, you said you needed up?
Well, my addiction is to Molly, so
Well, I mean, give me an investigation slash. Let's see, investigation. Well, I'll just stick intelligence on it.
okay.
Or, maybe, I don't know, can we do 2 skills? Investigation awareness? No, just do me an intelligence investigation. Damn, okay.
Hence all the stupid references and jokes and
You are having a tough time finding anything here.
yeah. That'd be fine. I'll just wait till tonight. Maybe there'll be something at the club later.
Is there any other method you would like to use?
I guess, well, streetwise, I mean, my contact for drugs is no longer valid. His phone number's in my car or in my phone. I'm sure FBI screened all those calls. Nah, I'll just go with impout that I can't find a drug of choice.
Okay.
So since I drank, I lose 1 dice from all pools.
Oof.
Don't know how that would work on here. It's just allow me to do negative dice rolls.
Now, as we move out, I might try to help you find some. Oh, excuse me. Sorry.
Oh, you're fine.
Dog doing something strange. Um, let's get Dom's boat moved first, and then I'll see if I can rustle you up somebody that might know where there's a party going on.
Okay. Yeah.
There's usually some type of party somewhere.
Yeah. It's all good in the hood, I reckon. Oh, Dom, is that your boat? As I point to the big one.
It's not small by any means.
And that's also that's not the place you put it, is it? You said you were down in Thunderbolt Marina.
Yeah, it's just a little lower. Or wait, let me see. Nope, it's that one. And it's not necessarily that big one, but it's in that marina.
Okay, because I thought you were in a different marina.
Nope, I'm just off of the Thunderbolt condominium, and I got 2 boats there. But you point at the big one, and what you see is a old. Let me double check and make sure I'm saying it right. It's under resources. So you see an old 1930s-esque sternwheeler riverboat. But you see that it's been kind of done up and turned into a houseboat.
You said what kind of boat?
It's a 1930s Dravo sternwheeler.
Okay.
And yeah, it's a 3-story stern wheeler. It's old, but it's fully, rebuilt and up to spec. And that's where all my money for a house went,
Okay.
is into a riverboat.
Yeah, it's somewhat big, but
112 foot.
uh,
But riverboats are long.
Whenever.
okay.
Okay.
But yeah, inside, basically almost every window is got blackout curtains covering it, for sleeping during the day due to the job. So yeah, that's where I live. I had a van.
Okay.
So I'm gonna have to get something new for that. Because being able to get around town is always a plus. Yeah, kind of right next to each other is a bass boat, and yeah, kind of a 3-story boat.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's Dom's boat.
Yep.
Yeah. When you first mentioned riverboat, this is what I was picturing you had.
Were you thinking a really big?
No.
I did find an old yacht that was actually for sale, or it wasn't even a yacht. It was kind of like that, except it's the one that is pictured is more
Yeah.
of a. But yeah,
Yeah,
it's kind of the same thing. It's an old rear stern wheeler paddle boat.
I figure with your beat up van that you had a
No,
crummy.
you see what happened was I put all my money into this, and it cost a lot more to put it in dry dock and fix it than I expected. Because I got this thing dirt cheap, and it turns out that boats are expensive. So all my money that I was going to buy a house with ended up in this, and this is now my house. So
Okay.
Hey, it's convenient. It's mobile.
yeah, and I'd point out next to it is a little bass boat that's got a cover on it.
But
yep.
Can we actually cross moving water though?
I mean, we crossed several rivers. I mean, to get out of the cemetery, there was a little river.
Here. Easiest way to show you. Push.
Splash, and you go.
Oh God!
Okay. Are you still living?
No.
You're not the wicked witch of the west.
Now,
I didn't say is water gonna kill us. Talk about moving water. You can't cross.
I'll reach his hand. Reach out. Come on. You're fine. Come on. I'm not gonna.
Just dripping wet.
I'm going to try the strengths. I guess athletics to pull him in.
No.
Okay.
Okay. Then why don't you counter that?
Oh, I mean, I'll do strength athletics just to stay up.
Oh yeah, but can you though?
Well, while you two lovebirds are fighting, I'm gonna go put my stuff into this and get ready to go.
Okay.
So you go to pull him in, he yanks you back up on the dock.
My 5'9", 140-pound soaking wet person. Like, oh!
So me and you are kind of the opposite of peoples.
Yeah, I picture us are like the old Hanna-Barbera cartoons where you got the big pit bull and the little chihuahua barking and causing fights and running away to you.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I'm, a little bit taller. I'm 6'5".
Yes, and I did not have you roll for this, but you've noticed there's no police presence here. I figured that'd be a good idea to go ahead and let y'all know that now, since you've made all that noise and.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Well, nice boat.
Yeah, no, it
And
was
got a
expensive.
dryer. Got a clothes dryer on there.
You'll be fine.
Do you have a hair dryer at least? I don't want to start chafing.
I'm
Jeans
sure
were
there was a
tight enough.
towel.
Yeah, but
I'm sure he has a towel somewhere.
Yeah, no, I do. It's got fresh water and a gray water tank. It's set up to live in. Just let me
And
start it first before you throw stuff in the dryer so it doesn't just drain the batteries.
so it looks like you have some nice curtains already.
Yeah, they're blackout curtains, but I figured, curtains and waves can still let light in.
Duct tape.
Yeah, I was thinking if we just cover the windows completely.
Well,
Seal the windows as best you can so that no
Yeah,
light
because-
comes through if that's the case.
yeah, but you don't want it looking really odd from outside.
Well, I mean, it's already got the blackout curtains and it's off the dock a ways. It's at the end of the dock. They'd have to be looking to look, actually get it.
Yeah. I mean, it looks like you're pretty much safe, though. It doesn't look like there's anyone out here, waiting on you.
Yeah, no, I tossed the phone, when I got this new one. So,
So you might not be at risk.
yeah, and I really fucked up north and I should be dead, but I got a second life down here and hey, 3 for 3
Yeah.
so far.
So it's up to you if you still want to move. I'd probably recommend it, but
Yeah, I'll probably leave the small one here and we can move this one now for now.
okay.
Which direction are you gonna head?
I was actually thinking of heading up north a little ways, get this one out of this marina and into another marina.
Okay.
Now, I am great when it comes to logistics with boats and docks because I am in a landlocked area about 2,000 miles from the nearest body of water.
Well, it looks like you can go past Highway 80 and
I
put
can get
yourself
up
into.
I can get up into the Savannah River and in that channel if I follow the Wilmington River all the way up.
So I was wondering how far up you wanted to go.
Yeah, and that's what I was gonna ask about is how much are we gonna do the whole wishy-washy dealing with boat rent and dock rent and all that stuff and getting all that squared away.
Well, just for right now, you have money for that.
Okay, all right.
So
With
that's
the
what I'm
resources
saying.
I
How
have.
far up do you want? Did you want to dock it at a dock, or do you want to find some secluded place to park it, or how do you want to do this?
It's gonna be at a dock, and I was looking. I don't know how expensive it would be, but up. How close is that to? It's kind of close to 51 degrees, actually. It's a little too close for liking almost. So, all right, yeah, no, I can put it up here in this channel. So if you look at where 51 degrees and Elon are, across the river, there's the Savannah Convention Center and the Western Savannah Gulf Harbor. Just on the opposite side of the river. If you look up that channel, there's the Hutchison Island Terminal Barge tug locate thing, and on the side there's a whole bunch of boats docked.
Right.
They're not next to the resort, but they're away from the parking lot on the opposite side of the rail yard or the steel yard or whatever that is.
Yeah, the steel yard there.
Yeah, I'll just put it with those boats on that south, or not south, that's the east side of that little bargeway.
Okay.
So it'll be docked there, and we'll have to find a way to get around over the bridge. But it'll be safe and up and over there and out of the way. But I'll leave my little boat, the bass boat, down there. Yeah, no, there is a dryer for someone to use if they so wish, because it's going to take a little bit to get up here. So if we have anything we want to talk about on our way here, now's the time.
All right. I grab a towel, strip down, throw my clothes in the dryer, and wrap up. And so, what do we do now?
Well, I plan on leaving this up in an area I know of that I've been to a time or two, but I guess that's where we can live if you want to live all the way up there, or if we have somewhere else we want to be.
Here you guys go.
Yep, that's kind of what I was talking about. That's exactly what I was talking about, was up on this little line.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it looks like a good place to be.
It's out of the main river and out of the channel, so it's just in this little cubby up here.
Yeah.
Don't want to annoy the neighbors, so we'll just have to stay a little quiet, of course. Keep our heads low.
Right. Well, I mean, that's a good policy anyway.
Whatever that masquerade is you've been talking about, so.
Well, it just means you don't tell anyone what you are.
Yeah, stay low and not, cause a scene.
Exactly.
If you do end up showing somebody, I guess that's just a really bad thing for both sides of the parties.
Yeah, you're pretty much going to have to kill them at that point.
So can we have high-profile jobs? Like, can I go back as a DJ?
Well, since you're so well known here, I would lay low here. But I mean, the thing is, you're not necessarily stuck here. It's you could go anywhere.
Well, I have no money to do anything. I mean,
right. And you also have no contacts, except for me and Christoph. So the truth is, I would say talk to Christoph and figure out what you need to do, what he might want you to do. He might have an idea.
I think he would be a good person to go talk to.
But isn't he part of your clan, though?
I don't think there's an issue with clans intermingling. No. Really?
Okay. I didn't know if I needed to talk to someone from the corridors or...
I mean,
remember,
there's
he has
that
a
lady.
Friend. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think if we go, what'd that letter say exactly? That we could go there and talk to him if we wanted to, needed to?
Yeah.
Okay. We can do that. Now, your sire, will he be able to help us out too?
Nope.
Do me a favor. No. Dom, there you go.
Yep.
There's your boat.
Perfect.
Yeah, no, my sire is not going to be able to help.
Okay.
Because as far as he knows, anyone that I know that was at that party is dead.
Oh, you were sent to kill us?
No, I was sent there by Christoph to protect you.
Okay.
I would say you did a good job. But we died technically.
Yeah.
But we're still here, so you did a good job.
Right.
Did you?
I just don't think anyone expected those two groups to suddenly descend on a place. Yeah, and all hell break loose.
If Christoph sent you to babysit us, then he knew what was going on at that place.
Oh, I'm
so
pretty
why
sure
would he
did.
even So why'd he let us even go?
That'd be something for you to ask him. But I can say this: his interest in you, I think he had already tagged y'all to join.
Eventually, maybe.
Right.
So did he choose us to be brewers and corridors, or
No. That at the party, it was pretty much random.
I think
Okay.
if he had an idea, he had an idea of who it was going to be, but here we are.
Yeah.
what is that noise?
Knock, 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 knock.
It's not on my end.
No,
Not me.
it's for me. They're doing fireworks somewhere nearby.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Oh,
It's
I
just
thought that was
dun,
supposed to be
dun, dun,
in-game
dun.
sound.
I was like, oh, wait,
No.
So he's
is
knocking on
doing
the side of the boat.
fireworks.
Hey, you can't park it here. What are you doing?
That's what I thought, that you were making that noise.
No,
there.
That's what I said.
Hey,
When he said, "What's that noise?"
that wasn't-
That's not me. So don't worry about it.
Okay.
So,
Never mind.
Why don't we go on and head over to Christos? Let's case the joint first, just to make sure there's no cops, and then we can go on in.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea. Yeah, we're gonna have to go a little ways around unless somebody has a rowboat, or if you want to swim.
I just got my clothes dry.
Sorry.
That was good. Well, hey, I will say this. I mean, I wouldn't do it here in the Savannah River because it's really muddy, but you don't have to breathe anymore.
Yeah, you kind of mentioned that.
Yeah. Makes swimming through water a lot easier. The problem is it's also really muddy and hard to see through this place, and you definitely don't want to walk down there.
Actually, roughly what time is it? Because the Savannah Bell's Ferry over there, it closes at 12 a.m., so they might still be open right now making trips across.
Well, how fast is your boat?
Not a clue.
All right. Well, we'll check to see how fast a.
Because what would it be? That'd be 3 hours to move it around. And I don't exactly know, because I tried looking it up and I saw very varying speeds. And a lot of it I got was RPM for the big wheel on the back, which told me nothing.
It's a stern wheel, right?
Yeah. Because it's like when I was looking that up, it was giving me paddle boat speeds.
No.
This is saying 18 knots, 20 mile an hour for this one.
Okay, so we're gonna say.
And that's with its initial oil burner 1907 engine propulsion. So 20 miles an hour to get from down there to up here.
Yeah, and you had to go up through the. Was it the South Channel? Nope.
Wilmington River.
Yeah.
So, measure distance.
Yeah, where am I at? Oh, there it is. I was zoomed way too far. So yeah, you go up Wilmington to hit the South Channel, and then come in the South Channel. We'll probably say it took you maybe 2.5, almost 3 hours to get there.
Yeah, because I was just doing some math, and it's like 10 miles, 11 miles to get to where that is alone.
By the river?
Yeah, so, but that's, at, because measuring distance, it's like 11 miles to get all the way from where that is to where the other one is going through the river.
There we go.
But, getting up to speed with a boat like that, and that's full tilt the entire time. So probably not going to be doing full tilt. So yeah, 2 hours ish to however much you want to
So
say.
yeah, if there's
claim.
a ferry over there that's still running at that point in time, you can actually still go to it.
Yeah, because there's a ferry that ferry runs till 12 a.m. So I mean, yeah, if that ferry will take us across, it seems like it might be a one-way trip, but we can always figure out a way back across later.
Mm-hmm.
And we might be staying with you for, a little bit longer.
Yeah.
Because it's going to take a little bit of time to get all that sorted.
Yes.
All right. So yeah, you get over there. You find the ferry. You ride the ferry across. Let's see. Where's it put you? Let's see. River Street Boardwalk, I think, is where it's going to drop you out at.
Okay.
And then from there, you guys can walk the few blocks in to...
Perfect. If it takes us to River Street Boardwalk, that's much better than ending up all the way up river. So, you have anything you need to mention, or is it good just to kind of figure out what we're going to do from where we're at now? I mean, we kind of owe you for helping us out so far.
I mean, not really. I mean, Kristoff paid me. So.
But we could easily as be dead if you just left us there.
Oh, jeez.
Well, that's true.
I didn't realize it, so I just looked at this map of what is right next door to Club 51 Degrees.
So there's Eclipse right next to it.
Yes,
there's a vape and tobacco shop.
Look at the other direction, right between 51 Degrees and the parking lot.
51 Degrees in the parking lot. So there's Eclipse, and then across there's the tobacco shop, Peacock's Lounge.
Where is 51 Degrees? What side street?
West Congress.
Yeah.
Okay. Let me see if I can just...
Here's West Congress. And this is 51 Degrees' front is right here. But apparently in the parking lot there's a marker for someplace else.
Oh, there's a marker in the middle of the parking lot. Oh, hey! So there is... I don't see that on mine. I wasn't zoomed in enough, apparently.
I guess.
Are you talking about the male strippers unleashed?
Yeah, yes. Apparently so.
I don't know if it's supposed to be the same place.
Hey, maybe. Maybe they have, nights where they do that. That's kind of funny, though.
Okay. So, yeah, it's the parking lot. So, I think it used to be there.
Oh, gotcha.
Okay.
And I think it got destroyed and it still shows up on the map. Because when I click Male Strippers Unleashed, it shows me the parking lot itself.
The side of the building...
There's no doors going into the side.
Yeah, the side of the building looks like it got something taken down. It doesn't look like as smooth as like the front of the buildings, It looks like there used to be something covering it. But yeah, so, cool. That's fine.
What happened to...
Yeah, to step away real quick.
So, I mean, I will come with y'all to see Kristoff.
Did it say if we should go in the front door, back door?
I would say back door, but first of all, checking it out. Oh, let me...
if Kristoff said it was safe to come, I would assume it might be safe to come here.
Yeah. Let me do a rouse check so I can go invisible. And so I'm going to have to drop another bag.
You really don't like being hungry, do you?
No. That's why I have my.
There's your parking lot.
Yep.
Okay. So I'll check it out for them before I let them come back around.
All right.
Was the exit in his office or was it out of his office and a back door?
The exit comes out here somewhere.
Yeah, but I mean, was it out of his office that we went into, or was
You
it?
went out his office and down a back set of stairs
Okay,
that
all
went
right.
out the back door. Almost like a private entrance, I suppose, best way to put it.
Yep. I think it would probably be best to go in through that the way we left to draw less attention to ourselves.
All right, so you're investigating. You did a rouse check. Got hungry again.
Yep. And drop the last. I'm sorry, no, not the last. I have 2 more blood bag or Capri Suns left. So, keeping with our terminology.
2 more Capri Suns. All right. And you guys are coming from the other direction, so you'll probably be coming down Whitaker Street. Where do you stop them at for you to go look ahead?
I'm still really getting used to.
Now, mind you, these streets, there's a lot of people moving around because you've got an oyster bar there. You've got
It's a busy place.
pizza parlor.
Oh yeah, it is.
Chinese restaurant looks like a smoke shop, and the Ellis Square Park is not too far away. It's like right down the street from, actually diagonally across the street from 51.
Yep. I mean, where we landed, there was a Joe's Crab Shack right there.
So yeah, this is a very, very popular part of town, a very busy part of town.
Yes.
Now, mind you, I've not been to Savannah, so I don't know how true that is. I'm just looking at the map. And
no. This is an area. Okay, the most crowded is going to be Bay Street and River Street, but up to about 3 to 4 blocks in, it's still going to be packed most Thursday, Friday, Saturdays, and Sundays.
All right. So give me that look-see roll.
Okay. Instead of awareness, can I do it as an investigation?
Sure, go right ahead.
Okay, because I'm really trying to watch out.
Yeah, because you're not just you're trying to see things that might not necessarily be out in the open.
Right. I'm just doing it on a difficulty 2, but
yeah, it looks clear. I mean, just a lot of people moving around.
Okay. Then yes, I'll go on and get them.
Unless you want to use a will.
I'm keep thinking about it. I'm going to use a will.
Okay.
So that's 3 more. I'll just do them as 10s.
Sorry about that, guys.
No problem. He's scanning ahead for you.
Okay.
So I got another success, and so I got 1 more success is all I needed. So yes, anything.
You typical crowd going in and out. You do notice what looks like possibly a government vehicle parked across the street.
Okay.
Near the park.
Okay. Then I'm going to pull them around the block away from that park to get them over there.
All right.
Okay.
So are we going to try and be sneaky about this? I mean, it's kind of hard for me to be sneaky. I kind of stand ahead over most people.
Yeah, we're not going. That's why I'm trying to take you around so that you're not.
Yeah. He tells you the front door looked like somebody was watching it.
Yeah. Front door is somebody's watching. We're just going to go around so that we don't have to worry about that.
Yeah, and hopefully we can get in through that back door. They'll hopefully let us in at least.
Yeah.
Because standing in a line outside when somebody's watching the front door, They're
not
gonna
a good
probably
idea.
recognize, yeah.
Okay. But when they have someone watching the back, since they know we work here,
Well, it's kind of a private entrance. Hopefully not. But if they do, they do.
well, how does my new look?
You look like an emo from the early 2000s.
But you wouldn't recognize me as Devin from the blonde hair, blue eyed.
No, but you almost stick out worse now.
I was just gonna say there's something different.
I give up.
Okay, so you guys come down Whitaker Street. He's going to try to walk you around to the back side where that door was at.
Mm-hmm.
Why don't
And I mean, I'll keep ahead of them just to make sure there's nobody back there.
All right, so go ahead and give me another roll. And this
Okay.
time, before you roll, let me give you a difficulty.
Okay.
So we're going to be going down West Congress Lane to the back door.
Yeah.
Versus street.
Hurry up and get that out of the way. Didn't need you seeing it.
I could be one of the male strippers unleashed, eh?
Alright. So let's do
I'm Janus from Canada. Eh? No? Guten Tagen. Me Ivan.
If you're gonna be from Canada, you don't want to be German, you want to be French. That's gonna make more sense.
I'm trying out different accents. Y'all let me know how it goes. Like, oh my God.
No.
No?
No.
Can't be from Cali. Okay.
Okay, your difficulty is set.
No,
It's a
you'd
4.
be a valley. No.
4?
It's a 4.
Okay. And I'm gonna go on and try willpower. Just to try it. I wish there was a way on this just to do willpower. Oh, sorry. I did it double. So I only got 3.
Okay.
Of
So
the 4.
you come around the corner and it looks like the alley is clear. There's not any vehicles or anything in the alleyway leading to the door.
Then I tell them and bring them on around.
I'm gonna be sneaking, and it's not gonna be the greatest of sneaking.
Okay, why don't you go ahead and give me a stealth check, if anybody plans to do a stealth check.
I'm going to sort of do like a sachet, like I'm somebody important, and close the phone and like, Dominique, I told you I was supposed to be greeted at this back door. Ugh, why do I even dare to have assistance? Kind of like deceived that I'm some snooty person.
Next.
Now, mind you, you guys, I don't think you see my rolls, do you?
No.
We saw the
Oh yeah, you saw
Dex for whoever.
Okay, well, I'm saying any rolls you see, it may say a name on it, but I'm just
Yeah.
using that as a roll sheet.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
why I said for whoever. I didn't know if it was for him or not.
No, these aren't.
So,
Yeah, and my stealth was only a 2. I haven't looked to see if I see anybody in particular, though. He says it's clear. I'm trusting him that it's clear.
Okay. Yours is a 2. Anybody else?
Well, I'm
Anybody else?
invisible.
Yeah, you're invisible, so it doesn't matter.
yeah, and I'm acting like some hoity-toity.
Okay, so you're not really stealthing at all. You're just
kind of deceiving anybody, thinking like, oh,
Okay, well, why
who's
don't
that
you do me
famous
a
guy?
favor and give me a charisma-based performance check?
Charisma performance. Oh no, not that.
Unless you're trying to manipulate the situation, then use manipulation instead of charisma.
No, I was being facetious.
Oh, I wasn't.
Oh,
I was giving you an option.
okay. Because that's like 9 dice. Oh, wait, I forgot one more for my beauty. So,
Figure what?
beautiful. I get additional dice on all social type thing. It's a Torador thing. One extra die to all appropriate social dice
Okay,
pools.
so yeah, you seem somebody important, somebody different. You're making your way down the alleyway. Dominique's trying to sneak.
I'm pretending to be a non-person.
So he's trying to blend in the best he can without being actually seen, and of course.
Would that actually be subterfuge versus stealth?
So you're trying to pretend to be something that you're not?
I'm trying to just to blend in to whoever's in the crowd instead of, I guess.
Well, you're in an alleyway, so there's no crowd.
Okay, then yeah, I'd do stealth instead of subterfuge per se.
I mean, the only crowd is here is
On the
currently Devin walking by himself, talking on the phone, acting like a pomp. Or whatever you want to call it. So
Pompous
as
ass, yeah.
the three of you are making your way down this alleyway, and Domenico is trying to stealthily make his way to that door, somebody steps out from the shadows, and pretty much right behind Dom, he goes, "Where are you trying to sneak off to?" And we're going to leave it there.
Okay.
Oh.
So we'll pick up next Sunday to find out what or who just stepped out of the shadows and caught Dom. You rolled a 2 for your stealth. I rolled a 2 and found you.
Yep.
But with your performance of a 5 success, I'm not paying you any attention because you don't look like anybody that I've been sent to look for.
Oh, okay.
But we'll pick this back up next Sunday. Ladies and gentlemen, don't go too far. Come join us again next Sunday to see what happens next. I mean, who just stepped out? What kind of problems that could arise for our players? Is somebody getting staked next week? Come join us and find out. Also, Wednesday, we are doing our Cosmos Collide for Organized Play. We'll be trying out Foundry for the first time, so that's going to be fun. And then Friday we'll be back for some more Lost Beginnings. Last session, our adventurers come across a crashed metal-looking firefly, and of course that firefly pooped out somebody in armor. In Bren's mind, I guess, because he did come out the back of the firefly's loading dock.
Mm-hmm.
And they're made their way to a village, and we get to see what happens after that. So join us Friday for that, Wednesday for Organized Play, and back here Sunday for some more Vampire the Masquerade. Now remember, we're in this adventure called life together. So please keep that golden rule in mind and treat those around you the way you would like to be treated yourself. With that, have a good week.
Bye.